Thanks for hanging out on the show. It's really cool to meet you again, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Stoked to be here. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, thanks. It's good to meet you again as well, man. It's a
Yeah, man.
crazy small world that we've got in Australia where we all come across each other eventually.
That's right. That's right. And it was brief. I think it was just at the merch table, and it was like, "Hey man, how you going?" And you're like, "Hey man, good." I was like, "Good set, yeah, cool man." It was like,
yeah, standard.
a million things happening because it was a crazy sold out show. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a sick show. I fucking loved that cattle tour. It was nuts. Like our first proper big tour, and it was with Cattle Decapitation, was pretty surreal. But yeah, that was a sick run. I would love to do that one again.
yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love to see that again. And you've just come back from tour like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
we've pretty much been touring like non-stop for the most part since like 2023. Like we just got off it was a 16-date national run direct support for Thy Art, which was pretty surreal considering our first show was supporting Thy Art, opening for them. To jump on, a massive Australian tour as direct support just like 2 years later is pretty surreal. But yeah, it was sick. It was probably my favorite Australian tour to date.
Man, you played Goldie in his dive. I wanted to go to that. Man, I was so keen to go to that. I had my daughter's wedding though. So I was like,
that's understandable. There's some reasons why it's fair enough to not go to a show. I think that's definitely up the top.
But all the other boys went, and they had too much of a good time. They said you guys were fucking sick. And it was just, it was wild.
Yeah, it was an interesting show, Vinny's. I'd never been there before. I didn't realize how like squishy of a show it was going to be. Like they were like, there are 300 people going tonight, and I got in the room and I'm like, how are we fitting 300 people in this room? Sure enough, like packed to the rafters, like to the point where it was like the pit was happening, but only just because of how many people were in there. So, but it was super cool, man. Like I'd be stoked to go back to Goldie again. It was rad. But next time we're up there, just shoot me a message, man. I'll guest list you so you don't have to worry about tickets.
Oh man, that'd be cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, easy, bro.
Absolutely.
Easy. Yeah, but yeah, it was sick. I love it up there, man.
Did you get a bit of chance to hang about? You did Sunny Coast as well. I mean, do you like those regional shows?
I love regional shows. I love playing them. I am such a city person, though. And I walked around a little bit in Goldie, not much. I'm also very much not a summer or hot weather person at all. So those places, like, I hate the beach. Like, I hate sand. So those places are a bit lost on me, unfortunately. The people rule, and the crowds are sick, and the shows are always fantastic in those sort of like beachy above, like up top Australia shows are really cool. But yeah, just the actual area itself is not quite for me. But yeah, I'm a bit of a snob. I'm from Melbourne. I feel like our city has everything that I love. So there's not much exploring done in the short time that we've sort of got between load in and playing the show. But from what I saw of Goldie, it was a beautiful place, objectively speaking.
And I live here and I fucking hate the beach.
So thank God.
You know what I mean? Like,
thank God, I didn't have to backtrack that much.
No. People go, you'd go to the beach and surf all the time. I'm like, nah, man. I'd get eaten by a shark or something because I look like a sin.
Yeah.
But but man, of course, your new album, Random Access Misery, drops on August 29. Fuck, this record is really good, dude. And it hasn't been. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. The first one dropped. History of Rotten Teeth. Man, that was what 2 years? 3.
No, it was 2023. We dropped the first single from it in 2022, like mid to second half. But then we didn't do anything again until like February the next year because we were like negotiating contract with Nuclear Blast and Grayscale. So that time was actually when I started writing this album. And I've just been like in intervals doing like a few months at a time of like writing like 3 or 4 songs. And then we'd go on tour or we'd have like other stuff that we needed to take care of. So, I'd have a bit of a break for a bit, come back, and then over that time, slowly refining it and all that. But yeah, I always try and, I guess, approach it in the mindset of like 18-month cycles.
Mm.
You put out a record, tour it for 18 months, and then you've got 6 months basically to record and prepare all the assets for a new album. So yeah, that's the cycle we followed on this. I made sure I was prepared for it at the very least. So it's cool. It's good to get out new music. It feels weird because I feel like we're still sort of like a fresh band, but it's like it feels very strange to say like I can't wait to get new music out. Where it's like all our other music's still pretty new.
Yeah.
But you know what today's attention spans like. People want new stuff and they want content constantly. So it's gonna be good to be back on the radar, I suppose.
Did you find that doing it that way, where you had little breaks with the writing, gave you a chance to go back and sort of analyze what you've done a little bit more instead of, some bands, they'll just go, okay, we're blocking out this period of time where we're going to, fucking go and write this album and smash it out. But having that back and forward, did that help? You go and play
Yeah,
shows and stuff.
I always write in like under the lens of like doing drafts.
Mm.
So like I'll always like typically what I'll do is I'll write like somewhere between like 10 to 20 songs, and then I will thoroughly listen to all of these songs over and over again and start cutting the ones I don't want, and the ones that I keep make it to say round two of drafts, and then I'll start fixing the bits I don't like about them, and I just keep doing that in cycles until it's refined enough to the point where I'm like, I can't think of anything I can do to these songs to improve them. So that's usually the case. So yeah, it does help having those breaks because it's time for me to sit there and listen over and over again and pick out what I really love about it and what I don't.
That can be difficult though, man. Like
Yeah.
you work on shit and then you I don't know, man. It's like your art's your children. Some people say, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You get very
Yeah.
attached to stuff, and then
Yeah.
you know, I do you find that can be difficult as well? Like where those songs you don't want to just hit the delete button. Do they go into a vault or hard drive vault, I should say? Like where do they go?
Yeah. I've got a folder that has like unused Melancholia demos. I think there's maybe like 9 or 10 in there that I like from time to time, like typically when we're in the studio as well, like working with our producer Declan, if we get stuck on a part, usually what I'll do is we'll quickly comb back through those songs to see if there's sections that sort of fit the vibe or cool sections that we can use for inspiration, that sort of thing. But yeah, you do get what we call demoitis, where you get really attached to the demo. So like changing anything in the final version sometimes can be a bit too thin, like pulling teeth, like there's definitely been times where Declan will turn around to me, he's like, dude, you got demoitis, let this section go, let's try this. It happens frequently. It can be a bit of a double-edged sword, but I think there isn't really any other way I would like to go about it, because I like that control of refinement and having it long enough. Like I guess like when we put out Hiss, it was probably months later I'd be listening to it and I'm like, I wish I did this in that section, or I wish I did a different word here or something. So when it came to this, I wanted to make sure everything was sort of analyzed with a fine tooth comb. And I mean, of course, like we got to finished recording, mixed, mastered, videos shot, and I was like, there's a couple of bits I wish I
Oh,
changed.
there always is, eh? It
It's
haunts you.
so minute though, so minute. Like they're bits that no one would even notice except for me.
Yeah.
But I'm very into, I guess, ear candy, like listening to a song or an album over and over and picking up on new little bits. So those are like the things that I would have changed. For the most part, like I couldn't be happier with this new release. I think it's like leaps and bounds above what we did on the first album. It feels so much more mature, so much more refined, and like we really found a sound. You know what I mean? So the refinement helps.
It's got a real good flow to it too.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
I've been listening
Appreciate
to it
that.
in the car, like, had to do a drive to Brizzy. I've been driving a bit for work and listening to it the last few days and just trying to absorb it. And it's just, yeah, like it's really, really good, man. Like it's such a good
Thanks.
flow. But what about the concepts behind it? Because I know, like with Hiss, it had like it said like a fallen deity reincarnated as human. Is
Yeah.
that correct? That was the
Yes,
theme
correct. Yeah.
and concept of that. Is this connected to that in any way, or is this a completely new storyline?
I went into this album with the idea that there would be no concept and each song would just be what each song became vocally and lyrically. Especially I kind of changed up how I write lyrics. But that being said, as I started to pull themes and stories together of each song, it's sort of like I looked at it, I'm like, this could be pieced as an entire story.
Mm.
Um, there's definitely a few, I wouldn't say plot holes, but there's still like each song takes its own kind of twist that can take you off the path of like a full story all the way through. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I guess what it is a man of faith who's, you know, lost hope in religion due to I guess things that happened throughout the album, certain events in his life. And as he's lost his faith, he's lost his will to live. I do typically write under the lens of depression, suicidal ideology, and that sort of thing. So, it's essentially starting with the very last moments of his life, and that's him deciding to take his own life. Second song moves on to him doing the act of it. And then from then on, it kind of jumps all the way back and moves forward after that. It kind of moves in a random order. You would have to, I guess, analyze all the lyrics to try and pick where it starts and where it finishes chronologically. But in terms of like the concept, like instrumentally, I wanted to make sure that the songs had a certain energy instrumentally all the way through. So I wasn't as concerned with making sure that this story that I pulled together after the fact, I wasn't really concerned about making that a chronological story. I was like, there's a story here, fit it together how you see fit.
It works, dude.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's really, it really works. Like, as I was saying, like, I love the flow of it. And it's, man, vinyl. I want to get that vinyl.
Oh, we've got some crazy vinyls on this order.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I saw the that special edition cereal box as well.
Yeah, we got the cereal box. Yeah, dude, we really wanted to go all out. Yeah, Thrash Wolf rocks, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
We really wanted to just go all out with pre-orders on this one because, like, I guess I always look at things through the lens of a fan because first and foremost, I am a music fan. I've been that fanboy since I was like 7 years old. So, like, I always try and take a step back and think, like, what do I think would be a cool thing to order for a band that I love? And this is sort of what came out of this. Obviously, through the filter of like that real 90s vibe. And I feel like, you know, 90s, early 2000s, you could get Age of Empires out of a cereal box. And that's where that concept sort of began. And then, like, same with the jacket. Like, it's designed based off of a FUBU, like, windbreaker. Yeah. We didn't just do like your standard Deathcore windbreaker. We were like, nah, it needs to be like fully custom. Side bag, I was just like, what's something that's like super 2000s, like a blood splatter. And it even goes as far as to link to like even our logo change on this cycle. I wanted it to be more of a 90s thing to fit in with this, even like the merchandise. So it was all very thought out, very planned. The vinyl ideas sort of came about when me and Josh Redbeard from Grayscale were shooting ideas, and he was just like, I really want to do like some custom vinyl for this, like come up with some ideas and we'll see what we can do. And that's what we came up with, and kind of surprised they can pull all that stuff off these days. But yeah, it's sick. They, like, most of them are sold out now, which is really cool. So people obviously lapped that up. But yeah, still a couple left. Anyone who wants to try and snatch up the last few before they sell out. But yeah, we're stoked on it. I got the demos sent here, like the test presses, not the actual like recording test presses, but like the presses of the designs, and they look unreal in person. They're so sick.
Oh man, must be a good feeling. It sucks sometimes because, you know, obviously they can only make so many vinyl records these days because, you know, but you know, I'm gonna have to grab one. I'm gonna have to snap one off.
Yeah, look into it, man. There's my favorite one is gone. That was the blue blood with the razor blades.
Yes.
The cool thing about the X-rays is the X-rays that they're pressed with were the ones used in the music video for All Is Rust. So if you get one of those, you get a piece of, I guess, you get a prop from the music videos. So there's a couple of those left. So definitely, I'd snatch that up personally.
That's cool.
Yeah, and there's also the blood and circuits one I really love too. So there's a couple of those left as well. So have a look into it, see what you like. But yeah, they're sick. I'm really beyond grateful that Grayscale happy to stand behind us like that and be like, yep, let's do all this crazy merch. So yeah, very fortunate, very lucky.
Was there anything that you came up with that they were like, hold up, man, that's going to cost too much money for us to do? You know, I mean, like, the sky's the limit.
There were a lot of things. There was a lot of things where it was like, let's look into this, and it would just be absurd. Like, we really wanted to do a figurine of the character that's on the front cover of the CD, like Mother Morgue, we call her. We really wanted to do a figurine of that, but the cost and minimum order quantity was outrageous to the point where it's like, there is no point us doing this. Especially like, it's like the type of thing that you see like Misfits or like Megadeth or Metallica do, like, because they've got the money to throw that around.
Yeah.
Like, even like for your mid to bigger size bands, it is still not worth the money. It's insane. But yeah, for the most part, they were good sports and they took everything 100% on board. They didn't really throw much back. It was more of a collaborative effort, I'd say, between myself, Redbeard, Sabian from Alpha Wolf, who works for Grayscale as a social media manager,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ophelia from Big Mouth PR.
Yeah,
She's
shout out to
also,
Ophelia, legend.
yeah, I love Ophelia. She also is Grayscale's PR and marketing. And it was just a group chat between all of us. I actually think it was Ophelia that got the cereal boxes over the line. She showed us she's got a MF Doom one, and it came with the cereal bowl, and we were running out of ideas. As soon as she showed me that, I was like, "That's it! Like, we'll do the cereal bowl with the cereal box," because we were always going to do the cereal box. It was just figuring out the contents. As
Yeah.
soon as she showed us that, I was like, "Yeah, cereal bowl makes the most sense, honestly." So yeah, and that's where we ended up, and it's sick. They're mad. We're stoked.
Oh man, that's so good. I'm gonna have to get some of that too. I'm just gonna like,
Yeah.
hey man, just give me your bank details, and I'm just gonna transfer
Transfer it
everything.
or
Do you
flick it
take the
across.
like? We'll take this. You got a square there, or I'll just.
Oh God,
Yeah, no.
square reader up to the camera.
I don't think it'd work. People go, this guy.
Nah, no.
No. But of course, you got some mad guests on here as well. You got Hunter Young and Christopher. I can't pronounce his last name. Uh,
Makatich.
Makatich. That's the
That's
one.
it.
But mate, rad dudes. How'd you get that?
So Chris sort of came about. Drake put out their new album last year, The Art of
Yeah.
Everything, and for a long time I knew who Drake were. I was pretty aware of who the people were in Drake. I had never really stopped to listen to it because I guess up until probably the last couple of years, I was very, very into deathcore and black metal and
Mm.
death metal and brutal death and all these really extreme genres to the point where I just didn't bother checking anything that I knew didn't fit that category. So I've always been quite aware of who they were. And someone shared, I think it was David Wilder from Heaven's Gate, shared a their new single, like their first single, Butterscotch Biscuits. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy it. Let's have a listen. And I've always really, really been into new metal to the point where I'd say the last sort of 3 years is where the switch has happened. I've gone really back into my new metal roots, and I've sort of, I wouldn't say I've stopped listening to the extreme genres, but it's very few and far between that I listen to it these days. And as soon as I heard this Drake song, I was like, whoa, like they've sounded like this the whole time. They've been a new metal band this whole time, and I didn't know. So I got really into that album. Our whole band did. It was like collectively our album of the year amongst the band. And I followed Chris and he followed me back. And we just started like shooting DMs across to each other, just talking. And it got to the point where we were becoming like mates. And, you know, I'd showed him the album and stuff like that. And he was just like, oh man, it's a shame that this is already recorded. I would have loved to have jumped on this. Then we had someone who was a guest feature who I won't name. I don't want to put that out there. We had to remove them just for our own reasons
Okay.
from
All right.
the feature.
Yeah.
And we just had that spot open. I just like called him and I'm like, yo, do you want to feature on this song? And the person we did have was like a more of a traditional deathcore vocalist. And it just kind of made sense to get Chris because it was like, no, let's put a point of difference in here. Let's make it like, you know, he's very, how do I put it? He's got his own sound. Like, you know, it's Chris when you hear it. So it
Yeah.
was cool to bring him into the fold. And that's sort of how that came about. And I guess the one with Hunter, we had made a list at the start before we'd finished the album of potential guest features. And Hunter was in there from the start. Excuse me. Hunter was in there from the start, and it was all of us were like pretty keen to get him. But I mean, like Hunter's a pretty busy dude. None of us really know him. The only connection we have is that me and him follow each other on Instagram, and that was pretty much the start of it. And you know, unfortunately, he does have a few like battles with his health and stuff from time to time. So I just like assumed that he wasn't gonna do it. He just wouldn't do it, like because he'd obviously have other priorities, or like perhaps he wasn't able to physically do it. I just wasn't sure, so I just assumed. And then one day I just kind of went, I'm just gonna ask him. I just DM'd him, and he was just like, "Yeah, send me the track." So I sent him the track. He's like, "Yeah, this is sick. I'll do it." And it was just that easy. I think we really made a point to make sure it was, a Moodring feature and
Mm.
not like what's it called, Drowned Under Concrete's like the band he does vocals in. Psycho Frame, he plays guitar in. I think there's a couple of spots he does vocals. Like, just really wanted to make it a point that it was a Moodring feature, just because that's what I love his voice on. That's the music he makes that I love the most. So yeah, and that's just it. We just DM'd him, and he very quickly came back with that. Being the amazing producer that he is, it's just layers of cool shit going on in there that really come together. It's like one whole feature. It's unbelievable, and I am terrified to have to try and do that live.
It's wild, man. And that's the thing
Yeah,
I do like as a vocalist myself, I do love
yeah,
about the album is there's so much going on that the more I listen to it, there's so many little bits and screams that sort of carry on to the next bit. Like it's really well done, man. It's really well
thanks, man.
structured. Fuck, it sounds cool. I love the production on the vocals too. Um,
Yeah,
it's
Declan did an amazing job as always.
man,
We did approach it a bit differently on this one. So on the first album, it was very walk into the studio, headphones on, in a booth with like microphone on a stand in front of
yeah.
us, right? So that's just how it's typically done. After touring on the History Rotten Teeth cycle and doing all these shows, and I sort of just kind of wanted to capture more what I do live rather than what I do in a perfect scenario.
Mm,
So what we did is we just got a SEV7, like a straight up live microphone,
yeah.
and I held it. I didn't do any like on a stand. There was no pop filter or anything. I think we put like a foam sock over the top of it, and I just went for it like as if I was performing live. I feel like I was able to hit a lot more interesting tones. I
Yeah.
was able to put more character in it.
Yeah.
And we also have backing vocalists on this album we didn't have in the last. Like we've got Billy, Toby, and Mason all doing backings at different times. So it just added that extra, I guess, dimension to it.
Yeah, man. It sounds incredible. And I recently have been doing demos that way
Yeah,
myself with
I think it's the
just a
best though. Like
handheld.
because like think
Yeah.
about it, you get up on stage after you've been sitting down recording all this stuff,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're like, shit, like I don't have the breath for this. Like I don't
Yeah.
have the stamina for this. I ran into that problem like quite a few times on songs in History Rotten Teeth, where I'd
Mm.
need to get like our bass player Toby. I'd have to be like, dude, I need you to do this line because I will like pass out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's the best way to do it, man. I can't recommend it enough. Like honestly, just do it in as much in one hit as you can, and then try and work around your phrasing and cadence through that, because then you get like a more authentic performance.
Yeah, I agree, man. 100%. And you've been endorsed by is it SA
Oh,
elect
SE microphones, yeah.
SE. That's him.
SE, yeah, SE Electronics. That's the one. They're like the biggest. I'd say they're probably like the biggest rival to Shure in
Mm.
terms of like a commercial everyday live microphone. They've got big names. Like, I mean, everyone from like Will Ramos to Avril Lavigne are using this microphone. And
Yeah.
all these people in between. And I was lucky enough to get into a conversation with someone who works with SE, and eventually just opened up this conversation of whether or not they'd be interested in endorsing. I think the mic chain lead I have was like a very cool image for that, so that probably helped get it across the line.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. I got to grab the mic I wanted, which was the Chrome V7,
Yeah,
just to fit
V7.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, fit it in with the album cycle aesthetic of being chrome, white, and blue. So it was really, really fortunate and very, very blessed to have the opportunity to represent them. They're a great company, and they, work very hard for the people that endorse them.
I'm gonna have to give one a lash, eh? I'm gonna
They're
have
sick.
to.
They're
Yeah, yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
so sick. I mean, they gave me the Dynacaster, which is I guess, the equivalent of like a 7B
Yeah.
studio mic. I had the 7B for years, and that's just what I used for demoing in the studio. I ended up using the Dynacaster instead during the demo process. The only reason we didn't really use it live, it was like for the actual recording, was it wasn't as comfortable for me to hold, and it was a little bit hot. I'm
Okay.
quite a loud vocalist,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
having something like that was not beneficial for the actual recordings, but it was sick. I could kind of, I guess, in demo mode, rather than just belting it out, I could, pull it back to about 50% and still get like enough gain through this mic. But yeah, can't recommend them enough, man. Definitely give it a shot.
Interesting. So, sorry, just I'm a bit confused. Did you use what what did you use for the actual recording of the album?
A
What was that?
V7, so a
Oh,
live
it was the
microphone.
V7.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. It
we
was
got the
just a straight up.
Sunbase.
I was just holding it, like it was. And like for the demoing process in my like when I do it in my studio, I
Yeah, yeah.
was using the Dynacaster
Oh, the Dynacar.
purely
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
just purely so I didn't have to like belt it out.
Yeah.
I could just like put my voice at about 50% just to
Yeah,
get
yeah. I see.
ideas out. Get less fatigued as well because sometimes I'm sitting there for like 6-7 hours, and it
Yeah.
starts to take a toll. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was yeah, that was it. Like as soon as I started using them, I just never looked back. They're amazing product, amazing company. Can't sing their praises enough.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, sold. I'm sold.
Yeah,
But
sick. Give it a go. Let me know what you think.
I will, man. Yeah, for sure. And man, you're going to be hitting the road very soon. Man, that's your first headline tour with APATE, Outsider, and Saint Sinner. That's going to be sick.
Yeah, we're stoked. I think it's the right time too. We really we've had a lot of offers like since we started to headline shows, to headline tours, to do that sort of thing, and we've always immediately knocked it back to go no, like the time's not right. We're not
Yeah.
a headline band yet, and it kind of just album when the talks of the album was coming up when we were tracking this album, it's like we're gonna have to do a headline tour off this, and it just so happened that we've sort of come to a crossroad where it feels like it is the right time for us to do it anyway. After, we've been to Europe twice in 10 months. We've done like 5 national support tours in Australia now. I think what would have been 2 of them as direct support. So it just feels like it's the right time. We're super excited. We've brought out our friends for it. Like APATE, they're pretty new to like our circle, but the music they make is quite inspired, I find. It's
Good dudes.
got that new metal. Yeah, very good dudes. It's got
Yeah,
that
we
new
played
metal
with them.
edge to it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
good dudes. Yeah.
they're super sick band, man. Like everything, like I've seen them before, like probably before even Melancolia was a thing, but I think they've got that sort of like alt rock new metal vibe, and that's sort of where we're leaning. We're
Mm.
trying to like, I guess, separate ourselves from the deathcore, death metal, typical sort of shows. That's why the lineup's so varied.
Mm.
Like we got Outsider on there who are like, that mosh metalcore, and we love Tommy Drizzers. He's like a brother to us, so that was a lot of it too. We were just like, we just want like friends on this run, and we want sick bands. Saint Sinner are probably the best up and coming band in Australia. I saw them live by chance and I was shocked. Like I couldn't believe how good they were, and they're so young. They're like early 20s, trying to slug it out. And immediately, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I've got to bring these kids out. Like they're essentially kids. It's crazy. But they're honestly like that's one band that I tell everyone. I'm like, if you get a chance to see them, watch them. It's unbelievable how sick they are for how fresh they are. It's nuts.
It's going to be good. Brightside in
Yeah, we're
Brisbane.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah. Man, it's going to be a good run, man. And man,
yeah.
you've played, as you mentioned before, with some incredible fucking bands, some amazing tours like Cattle Decap, Ingested, Suffocation. You did a bunch of stuff with Suffocation, man. Unreal bands. Is there anyone on your bucket list? Who's that one band that it's like
Oh.
that's the end game. That's the one I gotta.
There's a few. I think Slipknot would be the one. Like, there's like, I mean, it's just because Slipknot's, I guess, ultimately what is responsible for me being into metal and wanting to be a metal musician. Like to the point where I've got like a Slipknot song title tattooed on my face. Like,
Yeah, nice.
it's they're just like larger than life type people to me. There's definitely some other bands on there like. I think Atreyu would be a crazy one. I love Atreyu. Cradle of Filth is another nuts
Yeah.
one. And pretty left of field, I'd say it's Suicide Boys. I would love to do Grey Day with Suicide Boys. That'd be sort of unbelievable. But I'd say those are like my main bucket bands. Like I've been fortunate enough, like Fallujah is one of my favorite bands, and now we're fortunate enough to call them friends. We had 2 tours back to back with them. We did Australia
Yeah.
with Cattle Decapitation, and then the next tour for both of us was Ingested in Europe. And being able to hang out with them and like pick up Scott's guitar and play shit riffs on it, like it's kind of nuts. I would say that influenced a lot of the atmosphere of my playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's unbelievable. And yeah, Cattle Decapitation, obviously Travis Ryan, he's one of the most influential extreme metal vocalists of our time.
Oh,
And he had a big inspiration on me and how I do my high screams and stuff. So that was crazy too, and it all happened so fast. And yeah, we're stoked about it. But yeah, there's a few bands still on that list that we'd love to cross off.
Man, man, and you've put a lot into it too. Like you've
Yeah,
been doing this. I mean, outside of Melancholia, you have been playing music for a long time. But
yeah,
man, you can tell with this project that you've put a lot of heart, soul, and cash as well. You've sacrificed a fucking lot, man,
yeah,
because
dude.
the product is there. So
Thank you, man. It's like I think like with this one, it was to me, it was like if I'm gonna do this again, I'm going to do it correct. I'm going to do it no shortcuts. Everything has got to be 100% like the best it can possibly be.
mm,
Um, like yeah, and it was the same with like finding members for this band. Even like I just had to make sure that everyone we got was the best dude ever. Like it wasn't so much like we had to have the most talented members; they just all needed to be the right mindset. And it's just yeah, like this is it has been like for all of us in the band, all of us have been playing in other bands for years, like slugging it out, just like doing small weekenders over the years for like, playing to 20 people and all that sort of thing. So I guess when it came to this, we were like, we need to do this right if we're going to actually give it a crack. So it was kind of fortunate that we had that experience. I think that's led to us the trajectory we've had. We kind of knew what mistakes not to make. But yeah, we've definitely put our heart and soul into it. And I mean, it's I live and breathe it. It's everything I do. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. It's constantly on my mind. I'm constantly working on it, whether it be writing music, doing graphics, social media management, anything in between. It's just always on the forefront. So yeah, the passion's definitely in this.
man, and that sacrifice is paying off. That's for sure, man. Like, are you going back to Europe and stuff? You going anywhere else, like the States? Like, where's the next step for you?
So we were actually meant to be in the States in about a month and a bit. But we didn't, we had like a 6 month, just under 6 months to apply for our visa.
Mm.
We know with the visa process, it can kind of be a bit up in the air on whether or not A, you'll get accepted, and B, it'll get back in time. Typically, the window these days, from what we've been told by everyone that we work with, is it's between 6 to 9 months to get a visa approved. We were on the cusp of 6 months, and we went, it's not worth throwing that money in and potentially throwing more money in to get it rushed
Yeah.
to have a 50-50 shot. We're at the point now where we're fairly confident our visas would just get approved. We do have a couple of things in the works for North America, hopefully mid to late next year. Nothing is locked in yet, but it's definitely on the cards and in conversations. Europe is always on the table. We do love Europe. It's as soon as we did it the first time, it was like we need to come back to this place at least once a year. So we do have a booking agency over there in Avocado Bookings. So there's been a few tours pitched for, a few tours in conversations. So I have no doubt that we will end up back over there sometime next year to support this album. But yeah, at the moment it's we've got this headline run. There's another one that's in the works for this year still. I won't say much more than that.
Man,
And then
it's
yeah,
me.
we've got but too many people are going to know. So and there's a couple of spots
Yeah.
early next year that we're looking at for some international support things in Australia. But yeah, nothing I can sort of confirm at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely going to be a busy year. And our ethos in the band is each year is bigger than the last. And so far, that's been how we've done it. Every year we do more than we did the year before. So I dare say next year will be the busiest year of our careers. And hopefully it just keeps ramping up from there.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But man, thanks so much for hanging out on the show. It's been really cool talking to you and catching up again. And we're gonna have all the links down here and on the website. Brother, you enjoy the rest of your night
I
and
will. Thank you so
go
much for
forth.
having us, man. I appreciate it.
Go forth and crush that tour, bro. It's gonna be so
Absolutely, man. Hopefully I'll see you around there.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Brisbane. Let's go.
sick. I'll see
Yeah.
you there, brother. All
Cool.
right. Have a
Thanks,
good night,
man.
man.
You too, man.